Hello everyone, Yudi here for Mossy Earth. Welcome back. So this month we've been dealing with the transition between monsoon seasons, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster. So we've been hit by a heavy rains most of the days, and also a solid week of strong waves also around the islands. So the rain itself doesn't really affect on our daily diving activities, but the waves has been so intense that we've seen some rubble movements around the restoration sites, especially near the slope area. Actually, this is also proving that the structures is being efficient on stopping rubble, even in the slope area. Because the only affected part is the outer part of the restoration site, the structures. And they get rubble almost as high as the structure. So it's like kind of like filling the structure column. And with this, actually, we got a new challenge, because around the restoration sites, we have a lot of soft corals called the xenia. And this soft coral usually is a natural stabilizer for the corals. As they grow, they kind of glue rubbles together along with sponges. But because of the big waves, we see that some of the rubble, like pile of rubble on the slope, they start crumbling from beneath it. And the xenia comes to our restoration sites. So we found some of them that actually already grow on top of the coral fragments that we transplant, and they are actually killing the corals. So we don't have any other options other than removing this soft coral, so we kind of like pluck it out from the structure as they grow too close to the coral fragments. And yeah, we kind of like clearing the rubble that carries the xenia far away, like from our restoration sites. So this big waves also kind of stir up the ecosystems a little bit. Because of the rubble slides, like a big chunk of corals, they got moved from their stable positions, and also a big chunk of corals got dislodged basically because of the wave actions. And while this is a natural cause, sometimes we need to intervene as well. So during the dive, as we monitor our restoration sites, when we found a coral that got flipped upside down, we try to back them up so that the coral tissue doesn't really get pressed with the substrate, and because they will eventually die. The part where it's becoming white because the living tissue start to dying. So yeah, so we need to move them a little bit into more stable area. In our first restoration site, we found these jelly-like algae, where weirdly this only happened in our first restoration site, and we believe this is like a seasonal thing between the transitions of the monsoon seasons. And we hope that for the past month after we entering dry seasons, hopefully they will go away by itself. But luckily it doesn't grow directly on living corals, but rather they are feeling on the frames or from beneath the structures, like growing around the coral fragments. So we still need to brush them off just in case they will eventually affect the coral fragment itself. Yeah, so it's a bit of a task really, because the affected area is quite wide around the first site. So during this monsoon transition seasons, we found at our first site we have a lot of jelly-like algae. So taking precautions, we are still gonna brush them. And yesterday we got help from Blue Corner, because they are doing a coral restoration course, and then their students also helping us on the maintaining the structures, which is nice, and also helping us on the tying the coral fragments a little bit. Now they're coming here. It's coming this way. And also on the first site, we found coral killing sponges. These sponges, they like to spread and covering the body of the surface of a corals, and they will just kill the coral, as the name suggests. The only case that we found is on the first site. we found this actually start to spread on coral fragments. Again, there is no other way other than a physical removal. So we kind of like detach the part of the coral body that already grow with these sponges, and then we need to throw it away so they're not growing in that area. I mean, they're also part of the ecosystems, but for our baby corals, they will be killing it before they have the strength or before they got bigger. So we want to keep the baby coral growth without any disturbance, like the soft corals and the sponges. We are close now to a year since we started this project. So it's a good timing to do the monitoring so that the previous site that we've done is recorded and actually have like the same timelines kind of with the current progress that we do. And the other is because of a little setback on the structure productions. Now that is low seasons in Lembongan or in Nusa Penida. So some people went back home to their hometowns, and also for the people that usually work for us for the coating. So we've kind of like looking for someone who can do it part-time, and me and Chansa and also the divers, they're also doing the coating to have a structure ready to the next deployment. So it's been a busy month despite not bringing structures because of the production's delay, but we have something else to look for other than the Drupala snails. On the last update video, when we talk about the Drupala snail, one of you suggests that we do a night dive because they are nocturnal. And we've been thinking about it because we never done it. And finally, one of the days or in the weeks came where the tide is actually right to do a night dive, like a lot of slack tides. So we think that this is like a really good idea to do. And last week we actually do the night dive with the purpose of finding more Drupala snails to remove from the sites. We didn't find any Drupelas, but we see some different perspective of the restoration site at night. The one that I really noticed is a bigger fish, like the parrotfish and the butterfly fish, which we don't really see them hanging around the structures so much. They actually use the structure as a shelter at night as they sleep under it. So it is kind of like interesting found as well. Yeah, like we found a lot of different type of fish that using our structures as a shelters. So yeah, that's very cool. So yeah, so at night a lot of different creatures start to more active, like the crabs and the shrimps, where we find around. Even we found the moray eel hunting, just swimming around on the structures. So yeah, it's very cool. The thing that I didn't expect is we found sea urchins that actually climb up to the top of the structures. And yeah, I don't know what they want to do there, but as I know is that the sea urchins is also kind of like helping removing algae, because they eat algae. That's their diet. So their existence could also help us on the algae control around the structures, which I rarely see during the day because they're usually like hiding under the rock. And yeah, I didn't really expect they were gonna be on top of the structures actually. So while we got delayed by the structure productions, and when the boat is not being used for diving, we now got a chance to actually sketch the name of the boat ourselves. So now it's Chansa's doing the drawing and put the name on the boat. So as agreed, the name will be Domino, and then we will draw a domino fish around in this part. As usual, I want to thank all of Mossy Earth members, because your support is what makes this project happen in the first place. And if you want to know more detailed information about our different projects, you can find that information on our website at mossy.earth. And if you haven't, maybe consider to become a member and join the force. Until next time. Cheers!